Hello folks, welcome to the Virtual Realms YouTube channel. I'm Ranger 1. Today I'm going to tell you a story that relates to a vehicle that was just released in the latest patch. A story from Ranger 1's youth, back in my days when I was going to college. You see, back in those early pre-computer game days, I was an avid gamer even then, but I played good old pen and paper games, Dungeons and Dragons in particular. Played it for years. And we would play after class at our college that we attended. And being a college environment, it would attract all sorts of interesting, I use the phrase loosely, individuals that would want to game with us. And one of those individuals, I'm going to nickname, for the sake of his anonymity, the Cannon, for reasons that I won't go into, but they might have something to do with his lack of subtlety. The Cannon was from Alabama, and he had blonde, curly, tightly curled hair, and was a fairly large individual. And the Cannon had a rather unique Alabaman sense of humor. You see, I would put great care into my games that I was creating for D&D, huge amounts of epic detail that really pulled the players in and kept them riveted to the action. Epic storylines of great artistry. I prided myself on this, and I put that level of detail into everything that I did, plotting out the campaigns, the dungeons. All the magic items that they found had their own history and storyline behind them, works of art, particularly the weapons. Now, I put a great deal of effort into those weapons. They all had names, unique powers. I didn't like generic magic items. I liked to create my own, so that when you found one, you felt you really had something. Well, particularly the swords that you would find. Well, the Cannon had a predilection for magic swords. He wouldn't go for any other type of weapon, much to my dismay. And every single weapon that he ever found, he gave the same name. Every other sword, beautifully handcrafted by me, that he found, he gave the same damn name. He would call these finely tuned instruments of death and destruction... I'm sorry, give me a minute. He would name each and every one of them Womp Ass. Yeah, I know. Give me just a second. I managed to not kill him before he graduated, or even knock him unconscious, but that was an act of supreme willpower. I have decided to bestow this vaunted nickname on a War Thunder vehicle, possibly the most useless vehicle ever created for the game. This one. The 4M GAZ-AAA. Armed with a rack of 4 7.62mm Maxims water-cooled machine guns with 4,000 rounds of ammo. It fits the bill. You see, I do like my weapons, but this is my way of telling the Cannon years later exactly what I think his nickname for my weapons is worth. The same as this particular farm truck. It's worth absolutely nothing. Womp Ass is the most fitting name I could possibly imagine for this vehicle. Yes, it has 4,000 rounds of ammunition, the most effective of which is a loadout of armor-piercing incendiary that can't penetrate anything except possibly thin-skinned airplanes. Its armor consists of a whopping 1mm of steel for the cab, pretty standard, but it has 15mm of sturdy wood plank guarding the gunner. This is the only protection that the gunner has, and it doesn't cover anything above his knees. Now, there is a tool chest there, and you might hope that perhaps that tool chest could provide him some protection, but I have a feeling that that's where the spare ammunition is stored. thus being more of a hazard than a help. You are literally, when driving this weapon of war, you are literally driving somebody's farm truck into battle. And it's not even a very good farm truck at that. It runs like a constipated duck. If somebody gave me this truck in reality as a gift, I would sue them for the cost of having it towed away. If they had given it to me with the doors engraved with my initials, I would change my name in shame. What you are about to see is the best game I have been able to wring kicking and screaming out of this truck. And believe me, I tried. Oh yes, I tried. I fought many matches in this truck, attempting to justify it in some fashion, but I just have to give it this nickname. You know I like to nickname my vehicles. That T60 that I was driving at the beginning of this match, one of the worst vehicles in War Thunder, I have affectionately nicknamed that Frankenstein because of its looks and because it's so cumbersome. And it's really not a good vehicle, but I enjoy it for some reason, even with its abominably short ammunition clip that runs out within a couple of seconds and takes about 10 seconds to reload. Its penchant for getting hung up on things like that fence earlier and not wanting to let go. Really, guy? Did you not see me there? I know it looks like junk, but go around. Go around. I've got another Russian low-tier tank running around that I've nicknamed Pork Chop, and I actually do enjoy running Pork Chop, but this thing, it was worthy of the worst nickname that I have ever heard. So Womp Ass it is. Womp Ass and I are having to hide behind this ridgeline because if I dare poke my nose out and get shot with so much as a small caliber machine gun bullet, heck, if the driver of one of those tanks leans out of his hatch and shoots at me with a handgun, he's going to kill me. I am absolutely worthless, except against this airplane, who is diving right past my stream of bullets. This is the only thing that you can hurt in this vehicle. You can, if you're lucky, you can kill an airplane. It's not a very accurate weapon system on this thing, but you've got 4 small caliber machine guns putting out a fairly wide spray of bullets. And if they fly right into them, okay, you might do enough damage that if they eject or crash before their time's up in this airplane, you get credit for the kill like I just did. That's the only way you're going to get any kills in this thing. And I'm not exaggerating. You probably won't get a clean kill, but if you play arcade and he bails out early, you might get credit for a kill. No, seriously, I'm not exaggerating. I'll show you. You just wait and see. I'm going to have to skip forward a little bit here in a minute because there's a lot of hiding that goes on in this game. And it's not because I chose to play it this way every match. I've learned not to pull out where anyone else can see me. It's instant death. Oh, wait, before we jump ahead, look, there's a light bomber there, a British bomber. And I have hit him directly with all 4 of my machine guns. He has taken some damage, and he is actually even smoking. And I hit him repeatedly, dozens of times. And he just flies away. He just flies away. Now with him, I'm going to get really, really lucky. Nobody else manages to hit him, and he ejects out of his plane before his time is up. And I get credit for that kill, because he jumped out. Had he just let it go, then I wouldn't have gotten credit for anything. If anyone else had put so much as one 50 caliber bullet into him, I wouldn't have got credit for that kill. And the thing is, if that plane wasn't on a timer, or if he hadn't jumped out, I wouldn't have brought him down. Look at it. It's still flying. It's still in the air. And I completely unloaded a full broadside of machine gun fire into it. And all I did was make the engine smoke a little bit. Yeah, Oh, look, it's going to crash. No, it's not. It's going to pull up and fly away. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to torture you with this hide-and-seek game any longer. I'm going to jump ahead now and show you the real action in this match. The only thing I can do from back here is lay in some long-range fire at planes that don't come near me, or tanks that are staying on the other side of buildings, not that they needed to, or drop our artillery on advancing tanks. And that could have had an effect, but didn't, which is kind of typical for this vehicle. So let's go ahead and jump ahead. Now, I'll be honest. I've been racking my brains trying to figure out why Gaijin would put a vehicle like this that is absolutely useless against anything but aircraft in-game. I mean, literally, it can't do anything else. And you have to get lucky to even get a kill on an aircraft. Granted, it has 4,000 rounds of ammo, but it can't hurt anything. In fact, it's not impossible to run out of those 4,000 rounds. I mean, I just have. I've run out of ammunition. The only reason why I am braving going into town is because we have a lot of forces in the area between me and the enemy, and I have to get to our cap zone to try and reload. I'm dodging machine gun fire from my own teammates because they are justifiably shooting at me for bringing this thing into this match on their team. But I will, barely, manage to make it to the cap zone. Sort of, once I figure out where it is. Alright, it's okay. As I come around the corner, I can't get stopped. The brakes are crap in this thing, and I have severely damaged my engine by tapping that wall. Because I couldn't make the turn, and I couldn't stop in time. But there is a silver lining to this. It takes very little time to reload. I couldn't quite get a shot off in time against that twin engine coming overhead. It does take it a second to reload, but boom, you get them all at once. You don't have to wait for individual shells to load, so I'm able to actually contribute fire to the fight and riddle this plane with bullets to absolutely no effect. So I'm going to keep shooting at him and missing because these aren't the most accurate guns in the world. And I'll get some more hits. But he didn't bail out of his plane, and when it finally does go down, I don't get credit for the kill. Now, maybe somebody else tagged him with a bullet as he flew over, like, you know, a real bullet. So I might have gotten an assist out of that, but I really didn't care at this point. I've hit that airplane too, but, well, apparently so have others, because I don't get credit for that kill either. Well, he's not down yet, but he soon will be. Even this little M2A2 that's here beside me in the cap circle is far more effective in combat than Womp Ass is. At least that little tank is fun to drive, and it has one machine gun that can actually hurt another vehicle or kill another vehicle, the 50 caliber one. The small caliber machine gun is worthless, but you can safely ignore that and at least do something in a match. I'm going to riddle this guy with machine gun bullets too. It's not going to make a difference. He's just going to keep on going. Riddle him again. There he goes. Bye-bye. Have fun. Tell your friends. I'm sure all of you will have a great laugh at my expense for having the misfortune of driving this thing into combat. Well, by this point in time, I'm getting pretty desperate to actually do something constructive in this match. Oh, wait. There's another bomber. Maybe I can take him down. I'll lace him with machine gun fire. Riddle him from stem to stern. He flies through the bullet stream on multiple occasions. But he was already dead, and the pilot didn't bail out, so I do not get credit for that kill either. That's okay. I'm going to kill something if it's the last thing I do. At least that's what I told myself. There is an enemy tank. He has his back to me. This is the perfect opportunity. I charge forward with Womp Ass, guns blazing, as he shrugs off my machine gun fire and turns around. I try and stop. Of course, that doesn't work either. Fortunately, one of my teammates races up. The mighty M2A2 comes to my rescue because my gunner's unconscious because he's totally unprotected and he gets knocked out at the drop of a hat. Okay, when he comes to, I unload at point-blank range into the rear of this tank. This M2A4 should be riddled from stem to stern, into his side. No, into his driver's hatch. I've already shot him in the rear. He shot me once and I died. Because I have no armor. In fact, the metal base of that gun is the closest thing I have to armor, and he put a shot right through it like it wasn't even there. If he had instead hit the wood planks that surround most of the bed of the truck, I would have probably burned to death as well. If there is a special hell for useless weapons, I hope that Womp Ass resides there for all eternity. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the canon for searing into my consciousness the only possible name stupid enough to be given to a weapon that fails on this great a magnitude. I could never have come up with it on my own. Now, just so you don't think that this was merely a fail game on my part because of me, although I might have been part of it, I'll admit that. I do get some kills once I jump into this little freakishly small BT-5. At least it's got a .45 caliber gun, although it's got an incredibly slow reload time at the moment, that can actually do some damage, and it can survive at least light machine gun fire. I managed to scrape, I think, a total of 3 ground kills out of this match before we finally got overrun. Oh, and captured a base once or twice as well. But at least that was fun, and I could do something. I felt like I was on something close to equal terms with at least the other reserve tanks in the game. Now, I know that a lot of the other YouTubers have talked about how they're looking forward to seeing all the troll videos that are going to come out using Womp Ass against, you know, anything under the sun, flights of planes and custom battles, what have you. But if you've noticed, there really haven't been any videos that have come out on this little beast. And there's a reason for that. You can't do anything in it. It would be one of the most boring videos imaginable. Of course, I just made a video on it, but you know what I mean. I have never yet, until this moment, reviewed a vehicle in War Thunder that didn't have at least some redeeming feature. Until now. Womp Ass, you are fortunately one of a kind. That's all I've got for you for today. Until I see you again, hopefully driving anything but Womp Ass, good hunting. Thanks for watching. I hope you were entertained. If you liked the video, please remember to subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And I'll see you next time.